October the 23rd. Year, whatever. Hi, y'all. Welcome back to another. Uh, I don't even know what to call this. Trail cam, whatever you want to call this. We are making headway down the trail. We are trucking along slowly but surely. We've had some minor speed bumps on along the way. As you guys know, we've had a couple more happen. Thankfully we haven't lost anybody. There was some trickery played by a couple people on the wagon train on one another. Kevin Tolles had told me and Heinrich that there was a barber in the coming up town settlement that he had heard about, and it ended up being a lie, or what we thought was a lie. It was him playing a prank on us. And then he started spreading this rumor that we have beard lice or something. I don't know. But we're definitely, everybody has come a long way. Heidenreed, our fearless leader, he is doing the best that he can with this, rough group. The lady of the wagon train, she is definitely stepped up and is keeping us all in line, keeping us honest. Kevin, he has come really, really far along. He is trapping or trying to attempt to trap. He's starting to read signs. He actually told us the other day that he thought he saw like a silhouette of somebody far out in the distance, and we thought he was just kidding us again. And then he ended up convincing a couple of us to go out, and sure enough, there was tracks, but we're not sure if they're following us or if they're on their own trail. So we shall see in the days to come. But last night we sat down, all around the campfire, just talking and singing a little bit and whatnot, and finding out that most of us can't carry a tune to save our life. But they asked for another story. And so I, fortunately enough, happened to have the next story in that Sackett series. And so I told them about it. And that is Louis Lamour's The Warrior's Path, book 3 chronologically in this series. This is a story about Ken Sackett as well as his brother Yance. They are descendants, they are sons of Barnabas. Yes, fearless Barnabas from book 1 and book 2 in the series. This follows mostly Ken Sackett. The story is told from his point of view. This story is about him and Yance. They are out in the wilderness and they stumble upon somebody or meet somebody who tells them something has happened, that there's a person or two missing, and so they have to run to go figure out. And Ken ends up going on a cross-country trip to find somebody, and it's really a lot of book 1 and book 2 condensed, rolled into one. There was some stuff in the story that was a little hard to believe, I'm not gonna lie. Specifically, there was a part in the story where he had to find somebody in this unknown country with however many people, and he just happens to find them so easily. Again, there's a couple little things about the story that's a little hard to believe. It's not very logical, but you know what? It's a Western. This is for good fun reading, for when we're around the campfire at night. I will say this has not been my favorite by any means. I don't think it's a surprise what my favorite story has been so far in the series, but this was still a good book, still a solid read, still a solid Louis L'Amour book. I know that Faceless has had a little bit of issues with this story. He I think out of all of us didn't like it as much, but that's to be understandable. Not everybody's gonna have the same favorite book. But again, The Warrior's Path by Louis L'Amour, again, a solid read. Little unbelievable and not as easy to buy as far as story goes, just because it seemed a little far-fetched that a couple things could happen. But again, this seemed like book 1 and book 2 kind of rolled into one, really, with a couple other things added but condensed. But again, guys, The Warrior's Path by Louis L'Amour, a great story. Great fighting scenes, I will say. There's quite a bit of action in this. So if you're looking for a Louis L'Amour book that has a decent amount of action, like any other Louis L'Amour book, pick up The Warrior's Path. It was a pretty good read. I did enjoy it. I can't wait till the next time we sit around the campfire and decide, that we want to hear another tale in this series. I look much forward to conversing with everybody around the campfire after finishing the story in the days that follow, just talking about the book so far and what's been our favorite part and how we kind of relate to it being on this wagon trail, just trying to make something of our lives and go out and stake a claim and possibly just get out of doing this alive. But again, guys, I will talk to you the next time that we happen to read another book in this series. Y'all have a good one.